Well, 2025 will be over soon, and all sorts of championships are going towards an unforgettable finish. And how about this for a scenery for the penultimate round of the Ultimate Mobile Racing League? Welcome along to the US Grand Prix in the autumn 2025 season around the Niagara Falls circuit, a track that we've been racing on in season 1 already. It was the place of Cato's first championship win and his only championship win. And now we return over 1 year later. The Niagara Falls, located in the United States and Canada, of course, but Canada is the final race that we are still heading to at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, and 12.5 points separate our two Williams, who are the championship protagonists since the start of this season. We have a fictional track on our hands around here, but these roads actually existed. Imagine being such a nerd that you find out the street names for a fictional track here. And so I can tell you that Laguno is now going down Goat Island Road towards the Cave of the Winds corner. And now across the bridge away from the Goat Island again. And Laguno is currently only in 7th place with 27.77. That is worse than his pole position time in the first season. That was a 27.60. And we are very near that right now. Nitro 200ths ahead of that. And now Senna has improved to provisional pole position, the newest winner of the Ultimate Mobile Racing League. Both Justin and Senna have managed to win a race in their first season as a main driver. And F1 fan has now gone on to the second position. And then Justin in P3, Crustunet only in 5th place. He has the world record around here at 27.18, I believe. But we are 3/10 off that at the moment. We watch Senna now going through turn 12 and onto the final straight in a few corners, which is actually called Rainbow Boulevard. We are truly in Mario Kart right here, and we are also watching Elcrack, who improves to the same time as Senna. He's also in frame, and of course he's going to be in 2nd place then, because Senna set the time first. Only 10 seconds to go then. Elcrack is going to get another lap in, but he's just gone across the grass in turn 11. Barely any overtaking spots around here as well. At least I think it's gonna produce good racing, but there are no clear overtaking spots. So I think you have to think many corners ahead, and this might cause some chaos. I interviewed Laguno before this race, and he expects crazy things to happen in these final 2 rounds in Canada as well, where of course the Wall of Champions is going to be our final corner of the season, and Laguno has gone into pole position with his final lap. It's going to be a 2nd pole. He's 0.05 of a second ahead of Elcrack and Senna, and what a job he has done. That's a big advantage for him going into the race, with Crustunet in 4th position. Senna makes it onto the front row again. Last time out he took the lead away from Crustunet already in turn 2. It's going to be a very interesting start because we first go through turns 1 and 2, but the first real corner is just coming up in turn 4 then. Elcrack always up there when he shows up. He's in P3 ahead of our championship leader and still the current reigning champion, F1 fan, in 5th. And Toaster in P6. His team Minardi has improved very well in the second half of the season, and they are running a special livery for Nitro, who is from Algeria, and this resembles the Algerian flag. Phoenix 007 goes into P7 for Aston, and Justin only in 8th place, the only non-Williams pole sitter this season and multiple podium finisher. Then we have Nitro, who is in very good shape at the moment, and then Alonso 33 in P10 for APA Racing, who've also now got a special livery, or a livery that they are going to use until the end of the season actually. But Alonso has quit the server and also racing as a whole a few weeks ago. Now he at least returns to the Ultimate Mobile Racing League. 1 pole and 1 podium were his best achievements. Then we have the champion from
Then we have the champion from Season 3 in P11, Guillermo, racing for Hurricane Racing Team again this time around. Paradrive, a man who's been racing for multiple teams this season, in 12th and out-qualifying his champion teammate, Piggy. Fede again racing for his own team, qualifying in 14th, ahead of Smooth and Huenvi. Then we have Brasidas in P17, the Etruria Racing Team owner, one of the most successful personalities behind the scenes basically, jumping into a car for the first time since the spring season. His career best result was a P9. Now let's fire up the engines and let them roar in harmony with the waterfalls at this beautiful place. Towards the 5 red lights we go in the Niagara Falls circuit, lights out, and we are on the way towards turn 4 we go, which is the real overtaking opportunity here. Laguno has got the lead, then Elcrack and Senna go wheel to wheel. Crustunet is having a look on the outside there, but everything is looking the same in the top 4. Elcrack now trying to go around the outside of Senna and gets forced out onto the grass, and F1 Fan and Toaster try to go around the outside of turn 12 then. F1 Fan with a nice start up to P3. Still racing in this league, if he wants to for one time, trying to solidify their 3rd position in the championship even more. Toaster diving down the inside, that's the Minardi with the special Algerian livery for Nitro then, but Nitro has fallen down to P15 for the moment, and Fede has been called to retire from the race for lagging. Let's see if we can spot him, but I guess he is towards the back already. This is Alonso, racing for APA then, making his comeback around here, but he is in some trouble as well, drifting out very wide in turn 12 there. Now it's 0.8 of a gap between Senna and Elcrack. Laguno's in the soft tires, Elcrack is as well, and then our newest race winner Senna on the mediums between them. Phoenix has now also made up many positions, and he is in 4th place, going side by side with Toaster towards turn 4 as well. And that is now Fede going across the track. Phoenix stays in 4th place, now coming closer to Elcrack as it seems. F1 Fan behind that, then we got Smooth. Oh, also a bit laggy there, leading the train ahead of Alonso. Then Huenvi making a mistake, and the MP Motorsport and Justin bump into him. Justin's not had a good qualifying, and Crustunet is very far down the field, the championship leader, who's 12.5 points ahead of his teammate there. Currently scoring 0, and Laguno 25 of course. But these are dramatic scenes then at the beginning of the Niagara Falls US Grand Prix. Crustunet has already set the record for the most poles by the same driver in one season. Before that, the record belonged to Laguno in season 1 and Crustunet last season. And now he's already got 6. Today it wasn't meant to be for him. And the chaos that I predicted around here, and that Laguno also predicted beforehand, did happen to the Spaniard. Oh, and Huenvi now again off the track, and that's cost him 4 positions. Thankfully the others could avoid him, and the 2 MPs racing behind Crustunet. Paradrive with his first start for MP Motorsport, and now Nitro also trying to have a say. And Crustunet actually lags, now goes ahead, and he's into the wall at turn 9, and Crustunet slows down even more. Crustunet has mentioned before the race that he might have device problems, and Nikhil is now asking his own driver and the championship leader to retire from the race with his teammate in 1st position, and this championship is gonna be turned on its head. 12.5 points was the lead before that, and now it's gonna be about the same, but towards Laguno. And now we also have light rain being announced. Alonso is the first one to pit. The top drivers still stay out. We have to go from the sunny weather all the way to the rainy weather, as you can see to the top of your screen. So it is actually gonna take some time, and Laguno is gonna come in a very nice time.
Also regarding his tire life. Normally the soft tires last 9 to 15 laps around here. But now it's going to be heavy rain. Laguno goes for the inters. Everyone who has pitted so far goes for the inters. Senna does the same behind that. And L-Crack too. And then it's Toaster, F1 Fan, Phoenix, Smooth. All opting for the tire who can handle more rain. I don't think that the top 3 are in much danger. Well, but maybe Toaster is, as he defends aggressively from F1 Fan, but there wasn't really a gap there. As I said, the overtaking spots are far and few in between here. Maybe this first straight, the Rainbow Boulevard, and the first street then after that short little kink in turns 1 and 2 is still the best one. Although it's not that hard of a braking zone either. And now it seems like the rain is gonna end again. And maybe the intermediate tire was actually the better choice here. Justin is in P8. He was a big part in Senna's first win last week. Today he is nowhere near the top, not able to defend from the Williams. Maybe he saw Crustunet on track, but that's not in the usual positions that they are in. Then we got Alonso. I think the only APA driver also today, especially after Ferry, of course, retired. Then we have P. And the order is staying unchanged in the battle for 4th place, even though they are so closely together. Now Phoenix goes wide and Toaster gets a good run out of turn 9. And also F1 Fan now sticks his nose down the inside in the State Park corner. And into the pit lane go Toaster and F1 Fan. And Phoenix with the wet tires carries on. And he is going to be drifting around that final part of the racetrack. Let's see where he's going to come out after that. The top 3 still on their way to the pit lane too, but they're on intermediates and they have timed that beautifully. Now Senna goes for the hard tires, which last 15 to 21 laps. L-Crack for the mediums, the last 12 to 17. And Laguno also on the mediums. Laguno did not finish on the podium back in the summer 2024 season when we've been racing here, but of course took pole position. And Senna is doing pretty well. 3 seconds behind Laguno. So it seems like this race very much is there to make the championship very interesting going into the final round. I mean, it's still the same advantage, but of course Crustunet could have extended his lead even more. But Senna actually asked to change the track ahead of this race, and he didn't want to race here. And Brazidas now has been called into the pit lane to retire as well. So Brazidas, who's been making his first race appearance in eternities for his own team, of course, is not gonna see the checkered flag. And then we have Guillermo in the Hurricane Racing team again. Is there any other Etruria actually on the road today? Yes, L-Crack, of course. But not the usual lineup for Etruria. And Hurricane Racing team actually looking better now. Eight podiums so far in L-Crack's career. Is it going to be a 9th one? It looks like it, and now it's even going to be 2nd place. Senna leaving the door open there in turn 7, but there's a popular error on the exit of turn 9 apparently, and Senna
immediately retaking the place. And Tosin now leads that three-way fight for 4th place. Phoenix already in the last corner pulling alongside him, and surely he is going to get the place heading towards turn 4. Is Tosin going to be able to carry it around the outside and then at the inside again? No, he's not. And Phoenix in 4th with the soft tires again though. Toaster and the F1 fan are chasing him on the medium tires. And Smooth is not too far off either. Aston Martin are on the rise again. 13 points at Sao Paulo, 16 at Istanbul. And they might save themselves pretty clearly from being forced to leave UMRL right now. That would be MP Motorsport, who are on 46 points, 5 behind APA. But it is extremely close in that fight, as 25M were in last after Sao Paulo. Now they jumped up to 5th with Senna's first win. They scored 31 points at Istanbul. And they're now tied with Hurricane Racing Team for 5th place. Minardi are now pretty clearly in 4th, and actually only 2.5 points behind one time. And Tosin this time is the leading Minardi, which means that they could actually go ahead of one time, with them only having F1 fan in the fight. And you see that Elcrack and Senna are still very, very close. As we go on to lap 24, still quite some time to go here. Wow, and again Senna lets through Elcrack. Now it looked pretty obvious that Senna just let him past. Senna is on the medium tire, on the hard tires, which are lasting longer, but I believe that Elcrack is now slowly gonna hold him up, because Elcrack's tires aren't that fresh anymore. Now Phoenix into the pit lane. Soft tires meant that he would have to take a new set of tires first, already when he committed to them. And now he goes to 9th position at the moment. That also means an automatic undercut against Toaster and F1 fan, who he's battling with. Guillermo, Juanvi and Paradrive are in the fight for 10th position. Guillermo now managing to leave them in the dust. Paradrive retiring from the race mid-corner after him and Juanvi tangled. And I don't think that he is going to be very happy post-race. Juanvi now in 10th. And Guillermo in P9. And Phoenix on the charge, going already across the bridge and past Justin into 7th place. Justin is definitely not up there. He's back down to the junior team, Hurricane Racing Team. And seems like he can't match the pace that he has in Etruria today as well. Now, Elcrack's mediums are really old. Senna has gone past again. And I think that was pretty sure that that was gonna happen when Elcrack stays out for that long. But now Senna clipping the grass on the exit of the exit way street. That is before turn 5, that little kink that leads them onto that straight that's very curved in the bottom right of the track. Now Elcrack pits, but Senna's tires aren't that good either. So Elcrack once again extending his stint by quite something. Now he's gonna get the hearts to the end of the race. Elcrack loves to go long on his stints and just try something different. Today it seems like a straight fight with Senna, so let's see if that is gonna be a good idea this time around. And now Laguno, the race leader, has pitted, still comes out ahead of Senna. And he chooses mediums for his final stint. 12 to 17 laps on that tire. Yeah, it's pretty comfortable as well. So the hard tires are not a very aggressive choice by Elcrack then either. And now Senna. Let's see what he's gonna do. Soft tires? Come on. Okay, now it's the mediums. But let's see where he's now gonna be in the fight against Elcrack. He's already charging down towards First Street, and Elcrack is taking second place again, but they're still separated by almost nothing. And now they charge down towards turn 9 once again. Senna has let Elcrack through there many times. But now there won't be any friendship between them anymore. Senna has a look, great awareness from Elcrack not to go into him there. And still carries a good exit onto the front straight through turns 1 and 2. And Senna making the move already, giving his nose in. He goes round the outside of turn 5. And what a move by Senna now. Inside line in turn 6 to take second place again. Elcrack with the good exit, and Senna leaves the door open. Has to, because he doesn't exactly know where Elcrack is probably on his screen. Elcrack doing switchback after switchback, trying to regain that position. And 11 laps to go now as we go across the line. This might go down to the wire. But Elcrack is going for the slipstream right now on the hard tires. Maybe once again it is a masterclass by him. As he now makes the same move. Again, Senna leaves the door open. Elcrack once again on the outside of turn 12. But managing to defend very well here. Fastest lap is held by Alonso, who is in P10 at the moment. But I think that is a great comeback race for him. He's still not on the Discord server. That's not a very good role model for what you should do. But he's now doing a pigeon impression pretty much and just races here when he wants to. Elcrack is actually weaving down the main straight not to pass Senna, and at some point Senna's mediums are gonna give in. Right now it doesn't look like it yet, but Elcrack still knows about it, but that actually might come undone as the rain once again returns to the Niagara Falls. Not only the water off the track, also now hitting it from above. Laguno already on the Inter, still having to slide through turns 4 to 6 here. And F1 fan has stayed out. Wow, on the hard tires. So we have Phoenix in 11th place. F1 fan is risking it, and Captain Toaster64 is in P6. So that battle has now kind of dissolved as they all go their own ways. And the rain has dried up. Laguna's already back out with 5 stops, and now softs to the end. F1 fan, of course, vulnerable, but in second place. He couldn't have known that beforehand, but the rain was just there for a little moment, and it's absolutely worked out. And he might now take one time's first podium of the season. The reigning champion, no longer that interested in the league, and one time, of course, has had some very tough times. Senna was the team owner after the summer break, but then of course he went to S25M. F1 fan was the team owner before that, but also left then. But still, the Romanian driver is racing sometimes. And look at that. In third place it is Nitro, who's gone for the same strategy. It's the old hard tires. It's a 3-way fight for 5th place, but they are all chasing down the current podium sitters. Elcrack, Piggy in the fight, and Senna just behind that. Piggy is very, very close to the Italian driver. But I think that they all know that they are in a race against the drivers ahead, which can't do anything but just hold on to the hard tires for as long as they can. Nitro is 5 seconds off F1 Fan and just 1 second now ahead of Elkrak. His hopes of a first podium have been there all season. He's taken 3 fastest laps already, but still chasing that first podium. And it's probably not gonna happen today either, unless there's rain coming up exactly now. That's not the case. Juanvi has left as well, but he was outside the points. And now Elkrak for the first time pulls alongside, goes around the outside of turn 6 as Nitro also touches the grass. And now Piggy and Senna are also through, and it's heartbreak yet again for the Algerian driver who was hoping to score a podium with his own special livery today. But now who's gonna win that fight? Nitro still picking up the slipstream maybe, but definitely won't be at the front of the train anymore. Although the soft tires are also wearing off. Right now it looks like Elkrak in P3, but there's now only 1 spot remaining for him and Senna, who were fighting all race, and Piggy also having a say now. Laguno is already onto the final lap of the race. Let's not forget about him when he's that dominant. It really reminds us of his Season 4 performances, and also all the performances that we've seen from the dominant champions. Laguno now is gonna come across the line to win the US Grand Prix in the... He's going very slow, but yeah, he's going to win the US Grand Prix in the autumn 2025 season. His gap comes down to 3.2 seconds as he's having a little bit of fun. But that has shown what can happen if there is no 2 Williams at the front. They are clear of the rest of the field for a reason. Laguno doing everything he can and turning the championship around. F1 Fan in 2nd place. Fantastic job, fantastic call to stay out in the rain. Elkrak finishing off the podium half a second ahead of Senna, who closes the gap to Justin in the championship, but it's still going to be a tough task for him. Piggy with one of his many fantastic comeback drives, only 900s of Senna as well. And Nitro in 6th was just that bit too far behind as the rain turned the podium places around. Justin and Guillermo with good points for Hurricane Racing Team, as the lower teams all fight to stay in the championship next season. And it's Toaster in 9th, Smooth the better of the 2 Astons, with Phoenix in 11th, and Alonso scoring 2 points in P12 with the fastest lap of the race as well. And then we saw 5 retirements with Huenvi, Paradrive, Brazidas, Crustunet and Fede. Our Williams e-racing drivers have been trading P1s and P2s this entire time. And today we saw a shocking retirement from our championship leader before the round, and 14.5 points is a big gap for Crustunet to overcome. If Laguno finishes 4th or higher at Montreal, he's going to be the first 2-time world champion in UMRL. The man who has already got the most wins and poles by far. Is Crustunet going to finish 2nd in the championship for the 3rd time in his career? Last season he was also leading the championship going into the final round, then he didn't race there and went on to take 3rd in the championship, 8 points behind F1 Fan. Anything can happen. Crustunet, since over a season, has always shown that he is the one who can take the challenge to Laguno the most. And in their team owner's home race at Canada, one of them is gonna write history. Justin and Senna once again might bring us some very entertaining action, but for the Brazilian it's going to be even more difficult to get ahead of his rival. For Elkrak and Nitro it could go either way. Chances are not that likely that Elkrak is going to race again. But then we still have F1 Fan, Guillermo, Piggy behind them. Sigma Bob hasn't been racing this entire second half of the season, although it's been a fantastic one for him, and he still rounds out the top 10. And in the team standings, definitely the bottom is the most exciting thing to look at here. Now APA look like they are going to be relegated. I could check out the starters for next Sunday. Aston Martin is going to go with Smooth and Phoenix again, who've definitely got a decent record in the second half now. MP Motorsport with Piggy and Paradrive, never scoring as high as Aston, but still more points for them since round 6. I think especially if Piggy practices a bit to keep his team alive, he could secure P7. And finally APA is once again going for Fetty and Alonso. Two drivers who are out of the league with 1 foot at least, and they've never had a good haul of points apart from rounds 3 and 4. Only time will tell, but the trend is definitely going towards saying goodbye to APA. But for the moment, I'm just gonna say goodbye to everyone who watched this penultimate round of Ultimate Mobile Racing League.